doing this to me here. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Having some slight difficulties with the microphones here, and also some internet issues on top of that. We do apologize in advance for that. Of course, it unfortunately has a lot of winter issues going on, so hopefully it all sorts itself out here for the time being. We want to welcome everybody here to LSRTV for the Menards Parking Lot Sportsman Series, and of course tonight is of course the MPLSS. We'll get that out on there. Winter Invitational. We're definitely looking for a good race here tonight, and the in the booth not quite gonna be the same as what we thought it was. Alongside me here tonight is going to be none other than Sam Dyer once again. Sam, welcome to the booth once again for 2 days in a row.
Yeah, 2 days in a row. We got to watch short track racing last night. Now we get to watch some dirt guys, and it's fun. Get to watch some slipping and sliding, and who is going to be able to survive the dirt track here at Weedsport.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and hopefully, real quick, if anyone out there in the fans watching can let us know if you have car audio. Obviously, having some technical difficulties on my end, trying to make sure we have those car audios coming through. It does show they're going through, so hopefully you should be able to hear some faint car sounds out there. These guys getting and going around. We'll zoom down here. And there we go. Now I can hear myself. So I know we're good. But Sam, again, minus the internet issues, unfortunately, we have no way around those. It is just that time of the year where winter is setting in. There's about 10 inches of snow on the ground, so we can't really help that. But what we can avoid is, cautions and stuff like that. Hopefully, we won't see too many here tonight. I know we're going to see a 50-lap feature later on tonight. So, 50 laps with street stocks, not the fastest car in the barn, but they're definitely a fun car to watch.
Yeah, I like to call the street stocks kind of the tank of all the dirt vehicles that you can run here on iRacing, just because you can take a lot of damage and still run just as fast as if you had a clean car. So it's going to be fun to see how these drivers react with one another, but the big thing you want to avoid is that outside wall. Most likely we're going to see a lot of beating and banging against one another and trying to search for where that moisture is.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. Again, this is a one-off race, so we opted to go ahead and throw it out there in 4K for the viewers. So if you got a 4K TV, displaying its all its beauty on that big TV. Only 7 drivers here so far for this race. I kind of figured we would see a few more, but nevertheless, we have learned repeatedly over and over again, as soon as we open our big mouths, Sam, and say, well, there's only 7 cars, those 7 cars will go 7 wide.
Oh, yeah, no. So even if it's a small field, like only 7 cars here, we can see probably one of the best racing action. As long as they're close to one another and putting on a great show, it certainly will be engaging and entertaining for everyone here.
Yeah, it definitely will. And again, we know one of these drivers here, at least I do. You may not know him, but that is the guy at the top of your charts here. We'll switch to their fastest lap, so if I want to put it on the side. That is Cole Duggar, of course, running a 3-digit number of 123, so we don't have a number plate for that made, as it isn't hosted. But surprisingly, somehow we have a 112. I'm not sure how we did that one, but Cole Duggar, a name that I know. He's a part of the Team Outlaw Motorsports, which you can check out Team Outlaw Motorsports on YouTube, is the very own same Will Duvall that actually makes the cameras here for Outlaw Cameras for LSRTV. So this camera you're seeing here, well, it was made by him, one of his drivers racing in the race tonight. So it should be interesting. He's being represented as well as the cameras on a car as well here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, they're pretty new for me to see, which is always exciting when you get to watch drivers you're not really used to seeing and what they can show and entertain. I'm excited just to watch these guys wheeling it around, and especially here at Weedsport, it is a very different dirt track from what we're used to seeing here on iRacing. It's kind of a pretty narrow, and just the shape of the track is so odd compared to other tracks that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, they definitely, it's an odd track, and we noticed they brand it a lot. And if you're wondering what I mean by they brand it a lot, we were doing some B-roll for this track, and it seemed like every spot you look, you see Weedsport on the wall, Weedsport. Everywhere you go, they let people know where it's at, so you're definitely going to know what track we're at here tonight, as the flagman just sitting there going. We got about 15 seconds left in practice, and this one, I like the style of racing in a way. I like to see heat races. Qualifying is definitely cool as well, but my style of racing, pill draw. There's no qualifying here tonight. They are going to draw a pill, and where they get high or low number, that's where they're going to start for the heat race.
Yeah, I mean, if you're up front, you better hope that you can find that moisture and where the speed is quick. And if you're further in the back, I mean, it's not a bad place to start out in the race, especially early on. There's so many different spots you could fit your car, and then later on in the race, you certainly have to search, and you will find that speed somewhere, either extremely high close to the wall or really low.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. And being that there's only 7 drivers here tonight, that is how they will start. So again, we'll save the formal grid for the the actual race and that 50-lap feature. But starting this race, everybody, all 9 drivers, are going to be starting in the race, and that is going to be Fisher. And we'll struggle with that one there for a while. King Jersky will go with that one. Hull, Gagliano, Duggar, Gross, Breeze, Enoch, and Johnson are going to be your 9 drivers here for heat race number 1. A small field, but still a good one. And I look to see how Cole Duggar can do here in this race.
Yeah, especially with the way Duggar was the fastest out there. Certainly the driver that we're going to keep our eye on as a driver that should be on top of the board by the end of the night.
Yeah, he is definitely a dirt driver at heart. And again, a one-off race here. Hopefully in the future we can do some more with him. And apparently we got a third guest here with us. Sounds like someone else wants to get in the booth there too, Sam.
Yeah, my puppy wants to get all the attention, but he's going to stay in the kitchen and probably bark a little bit more. But we're certainly excited for the racing action that's about to start.
Yeah, and I envy him. I love doing broadcasts, but hey, the kitchen's my second favorite room.
Oh, it's so amazing. You can get so much great food from there. As the drivers are cycling around, getting ready to go green here, as this is going to be an 8-lap little heat race to get drivers warmed up and ready to go.
Yeah, and this, you see right there, we're looking at things. Heat race 2 and 3 were slated to be here, but they will be false. And we'll see. They do have a B main for 15 laps if needed. I don't know if we're going to run that or not, or if everyone will advance. That is a setting they can choose to use or not to use to force that consolation race. But regardless of that, the green flag is officially out, and we are underway. And it's Fisher out front, Kondrasky behind him in second place. And already putting on a good little battle for the lead here as they're going to go right bumper to bumper, and contact is made.
Yeah, our leaders are having some great action. Then you go back to about 5th or 6th, and they're starting to get really squirrely there as drivers certainly not being too patient, knowing that they need to be making as many big moves now when the track is at its fullest, and you can really make a lot of moves now.
Yeah, these guys, they know what they're doing. They're experts at this, and they know I have got to go right now and make your moves. Again, especially with only one heat race, you've got to get going. And, with Pill Draw, it really makes it a fun style because you've got some of these guys back here battling Breeze and Notch, Johnson. These guys may not necessarily be the slowest guys just because they're starting in the back because of Pill Draw. They could just have really bad luck when it comes to drawing a pill. So that makes it really interesting as you watch the back of this field as well as the front where that battle is still going on.
Yeah, up front, they're kind of just staying single file out, just searching for that speed, and they're all figuring out that early on down, you really want to arc your car extremely low, close to that inside wall. And Weedsport is such an interesting course because there are slight openings of getting close to that inside grass that if you hit one of those barriers, your car is going to come to a dead stop or you're going to find yourself flipping.
Yeah, and this is one of those tracks, like you mentioned, the wall. If you look here, they'll come out of this turn and come into the next one. We'll zoom out just a little bit so you can see it right in there. Those are cut off, but right there, you see how they slant up. It's not a wall, there's a dead on. You can actually ramp your car up on there and high center, so you definitely do not want to do that. I've seen it happen many times, and yeah, they're going
Gross
around.
goes around. Gross just gets in a little bit too much wheel into the corner and spins himself around, but our front three, they are all on top of one another and just trying to put on a show, that's for sure.
Yeah, that they are doing, and there's the white flag in the air here for heat race number 1 and your only heat race of the night. And again, we'll see if that consolation B main is going to happen or not. In contact right there as we keep it going, but it's going to be Ryan Fisher that takes the win, followed by Kondrowski, Duggar, Hole, Breeze, and Notch, Gross, Egliano, and Johnson is how they're going to finish here in your first and only heat race here tonight. Again, we're wondering if some people forgot what time we were starting, but they're going to move right on to practice, which means we're going to step away. But before we do, we, of course, want to thank all the sponsors that come on board. Of course, ETE Reman here for LSRTV, and, of course, Henco Waterjet. Make sure you check them out at hencowaterjet.com. B&H Home Builders in Wisconsin. That is B-HBuildersLLC.com. And, of course, DiscountShopTowels.com. Make sure you check out all of these guys for all of their products. And we'll step away here for just a moment after a quick commercial break and a little bit of a warm-up. We'll come back and we'll be ready for your 50-lap A-Main here in just a few moments.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Sam, it's going to be a good one. Only 9 drivers, but we just literally talked to Peter, the guy putting all of this on for his league. Again, it doesn't take a lot of cars to put on a lot of battling and a good show, but it is that time for the starting grid. Going to be coming up here in just a few moments as everyone will start to jump onto the grid. Your predictions here, are we going to have a side-by-side battle, drag race to the end? What do you think we're going to see here for the battle for the lead?
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell to see how it's going to be side-by-side and drag racing at the end because this track's going to evolve a lot. I mean, we only got to see the first heat, which is going to be pretty similar to what we're going to see our first about 8 to 16 laps of this race, and then the track's really going to evolve on where they're going to be changing up. And so I think I'm expecting a lot more of these drivers to be working towards the high line at the end of this race. It might just turn into a single-file race by the end of this night.
Yeah, and you can hear, I know I can hear it, I'm sure the fans can hear it out. The fans here, they are relentless, they are loud, overpowering the cars here tonight. But regardless of that, it is time for your ComServe Wireless starting grid on row 1. It is going to be Jason Enoch in the 66 and Peter Breeze in that 74 machine as we go 2 by 2. And of course the 99 of Brandon Hull and Cole Duggar in the 123.
In row number 3, we're going to have David Kinjuk. Oh, yeah, we're going to struggle with that name all night long, but we'll figure it out. And then we also got Ryan Fisher in that 41 machine. In row number 4, that's when we're going to be having the one of Andrew Gross, which Gross we saw spin out in the heat number 1. We'll see if he can rebound from that. And also we've got Dean Gosselin.
And, of course, surrounding out the field going to be Chris Johnson. And, again, we do apologize for any mispronunciations there. I'm thinking it's Gagliano for Dean, and Kenjerski is, I believe, how you pronounce it for the 15. It looks like Kenjetski, so I'm just going with Kenjerski. That's what I'm going with here tonight. And with the lower field, we will bypass on the sling in the dirt here. We'll play that about halfway through this race. But the green flag is out, and we are racing. Look at the battle for the lead. They're going to be 4 wide, beating and banging already.
Oh, boy. Already into the inside wall, and that's not where you want to be. Avoid the inside wall at all costs. But they are already beating and banging up front. It's the 66 pulling away.
Yeah, it looks like a Christmas tree up front. You got red and black, green and black. Then you have Cole Duggar in that signature pink car, which lets you know that it is a Outlaw School of Boss Team Outlaw Motorsports car. I don't think any of their cars don't have pink on them, so we'll see how he stacks up against his field. Brandon Hull going to be right behind him in that 99 machine, as we're going to have the 41 try to stick his nose in there, as they're going to go side by side for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, we're already starting to see it. All the drivers recognizing the inside lane is where you want to be to find the speed early on in this race. It's the shortest way around, and there's a lot of grip down there for you to really start sliding your car around. But it's going to fade away here, probably around lap 15 to 16 time, and then you're going to really search to the high groove where more moisture might be.
Yeah, you want to find that moisture. That is what it's all about. And we'll see. I don't think this track's too worn out. You see a little bit of slick starting to form in there, and you see them going right above it and right below it. But again, with only 9 cars and no qualifying, just the heat race, it did carry over. They did not do any track prep before the A main, but just not a lot of cars to put anywhere on this track, so that is good news. If excuse me, if you came in here looking for a fresh track, if you were planning on 3 heats, a B main, and then having to run this on a more slick track, your setup may not be very good here tonight.
Yeah, no, interesting to see the 74 doing a great job pulling away, and one of the first machines coming out of 3 and 4 to really start arcing it through the outside and having a further apex than everyone else.
Yeah, he is doing that, and why not? We have the chance here. Let's go on board here, as we are on board with Breeze in the number 74, and you can see right there is how much he's turning that wheel. Not a lot. These cars are fast enough, yet slow enough, Sam. You can really, you'll see right here, he turns it in, he turns it back, and that's really all he does. He doesn't do a whole lot of movement, and he's making a little bit more right there, but you don't have to do a whole lot with these cars to get around the corner. And you notice he really never touches the brake.
Yeah, I mean, with the street stocks, the goal is not really to be sliding sideways like you'll see with the sprint cars or the late models. It's really about trying to keep the car as straight as possible through these corners to keep your speed and momentum up to the highest degree exiting out of the corners. But you're starting to see that the 74, the exiting, the late apex coming out of 3 and 4 is where he's losing all of this time right now.
Yeah, you see right there, if you compare him to the 99, he's not getting quite as sideways like you mentioned, and he is reeling him in. The question is, how long is it going to take him to reel it in? As we'll get the gyro cam out here. I know a lot of the fans love it. And you're on board with Hole in that 99 machine. He's going to slip it right down on the bottom. That makes you wonder, is the bottom the lane to be right now? Is the top side gone? And it's just nothing there. As you see them both high. And now you see the 74. He's actually running that slider line. He's going to the bottom and then sliding up to the top. So, we may potentially see that slider line work for a pass, but it doesn't seem to quite be working right now, although he is staying ahead of second place.
Yeah, and our top three, they're starting to pull away, where we're seeing side-by-side racing, and Contact now is going to be back in 5th place, where drivers are really just sending it into these corners.
Yeah, they are absolutely sending it, and that's the one thing you can do with these cars. I've wondered for many years now if these street stocks were made out of former tanks, because that is exactly what they are. They are utter tanks out on this track. They can beat and bang, and you do a lot of damage to them before you get that meatball flag to go in for repairs. So they're doing a good job as Cole Duggar sitting there trying to get that Team Outlaw Motorsports number 11 in second. He's going to take to the high side and do it. So I may have been wrong. The high side may be still a place to be.
Well, the 99 kind of scared himself that last lap exiting out of 4. That inside wall just kind of snuck up on him, and he had to really jerk it out to the outside and losing all that time. Now Duggar going to be moving into second place and kind of running a pretty similar lap line that the 74 is. And this is when things get interesting, because you got to figure out a different lane if you're going to pass the car in front of you.
Yeah, you definitely have to figure out a different lane. Same lane won't work. That's what they call nose-to-tail racing. And, well, it doesn't induce passing, as Cole Duggar going to have a little bit of a connection issue himself there. And he is right there in second place trying to make something happen. Just to recap your top 5 right now: Breeze, Duggar, Hole, Kondrasky, and Gross going to be your top 5 drivers right now out of the 9 on track, and so far everyone is on track. And what I want to keep an eye on, we're not close yet, Sam, but we're running 18.5 second laps, and your last place Johnson right now, he is 11 seconds behind. That's 7 seconds before he'll be lapped. So will we see a lap car come into the play? We're on lap 18 now, 19 of 50, so we're just about the halfway point. We very well could see a lap car come into this race and into the picture before it's over.
Yeah, I think we really are going to be dealing with a lap car. Oh no, the 34 in 8th place just got into the inside wall, and now is going to be ducking it into the infield out of the way from our leaders. That was a scary situation that almost thought was going to bring out a yellow for a second there, but looking at some of these drivers, a car that's looking fast, but just not fast enough to catch up to our leaders. That's the 15. He was running such an opposite line than everyone else. About 2 or 3 laps ago, he was running down our lead 3, and I think the track is now starting to evolve to the point where you got to figure out different lines, because you can see it already visually. That middle lane, it is losing the moisture, and you're going to have to really decide, do you want to stay as low as possible or move up?
Yeah, you really do, and we're having to make that decision right now. As you saw on those speed cams, again presented by Outlaw Cams, as Cole Duggar went side by side to the line. Cole Duggar going to take it to the inside. He'll try to slide up possibly right here. No, he's going to keep it all the way glued to the bottom, and he'll possibly slide up here. He does, and Cole Duggar takes the lead for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, and that's just guts, staying that low, so close to the inside wall, but you just got to trust where you are putting your machine, and it is working out for the 123. But, I mean, this is something that you're going to see. I mean, I love the fact that we're watching this in 4K, because you can really see how the track has been evolving throughout the night so far, and how these drivers really have to pick and choose where they want to put themselves.
Yeah, and one thing, you're noticing about this track, as we didn't get a chance to take a look at the weather, but I have the stats here. The air temp 78 and track temp 73 is contact between second and third place right now going on. But this track is not too hot, but look how dusty it is. They are throwing up a ton of dust, as we'll look a little further out, and you can see the dust jaw right there. They are just kicking the dust up here tonight to the country song. No pun intended.
as these drivers are still kicking it around. I mean, Duggar has found that line of coming through 1 and 2, of actually bouncing off of that outside wall. I mean, it's kind of like a brim that's there right before he hits it, and it's helping him shoot through 1 and 2 so much faster than everyone else. I mean, you got to find those little aspects of the track that are going to give you those major advantages moving forward.
Yeah, and you see that little damage to the front of his car. He actually smacked the inside wall there just a second ago. Right there, he hit that wall, and now you see him taking a much higher line as he came into the corner and just smacked it just a little bit. As it's not going to slow him down, I don't think. We're on lap 28 of 50. Well, excuse me, 23 laps ago, going to be 22. At the line, but yeah, like I said, Cole Duggar has really pulled away. The battles that you're seeing, that is the battle for third and fourth at the moment between Breeze and Gross, but even that battle kind of fizzling out as the 99 is going to take a little spin there, Brandon Hole, and he will lose 2 spots out of that one.
Yeah, and it's just the little bit of too much wheeling into these corners. And, you know, you talked about how they're really not using a lot of wheel in turning around here, but sometimes you feel like you really just need to crank it to stay as low as possible in these corners. And if you just put a little bit too much steering wheel in, you're going to find yourself spinning around.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want to do. Oh, it was a little contact. That is between the 74 and the 99. That's for second place. And now contact between the 14 and the 74. These guys are just duking it out and relentless here tonight.
Yeah, and Duggar's loving this because he can just pull away, and now 4 seconds ahead of this 4-man pack that are just bouncing off of one another. And I'm loving hearing the comms because they're just constantly saying, hey, sorry, as they just continue to just rattle down all of these laps.
Yeah, they are constantly having to apologize as we're coming up on 18 laps to go. This race is past the halfway point. You know, Sam, we love to do it, and this battle's a good little battle. Let's go silent here for a lap or two and crank these cams up and just sling a little dirt and let the fans out there hear what these cars sound like. And just a few laps as these cars barrel around this track and again put on a good show for the fans out there, especially this battle for second place as Cole Duggar has basically put the keys on the counter and checked out from this race. As the battle for third place is a 3-car battle between the 99, the 74, and the 15, and the 15 and the 99 said, well, you didn't have enough sheet metal damage. I'm going to damage it for you.
Yeah, I feel like every other lap they're banging off of one another, the 15 and the 99 are, and you know, that third place position, it's kind of important. You get to talk to us up in the booth, so you kind of want to battle, get that position. But I mean, it's not over yet. I mean, these guys are still so close, and anything can happen in these final couple of laps.
Yeah, anything can and potentially will happen, as that's at 15 right now. Kendriski trying to make something happen. He's going to take it to the slight inside, and the 99 going to take it to the high side, and it looks like the inside line will prevail, as right now it is Duggar still out front with a 4.6 second lead, and we do see lap cars coming in. Do you think the lap car that is, I believe, yeah, that's a 66 of Jason Inach. Do you think he'll be a factor in this race for Cole Duggar or not?
No, Notch has been struggling here today. I'm expecting him probably just to see, the leader's behind me. I'm just going to get out of the way and duck it. But right now, there's still plenty of space, so he's going to continue to try to run and find his area of where the speed is. I think Anach's best option might be to just slow down, let the leader go, and try to follow the leader's line.
Yeah, that definitely is possibly what I would do. And we'll see. There's Cole Duggar right behind him. And then you go back to a second of Andrew Gross in the 14, sporting the Henco water jet supply. So he's got one of the sponsors on board. And the guy putting all this together in third place now of Peter Breeze. He is in third place. Before I lose my voice completely here, tonight wasn't planning on being on the mic, but hey, things change and we are now. We'll see. That battle for third is still underway. It's fizzled out from 4 cars to 3 and now to 2, but still a good little battle going on, and basically the biggest battle on track here as we have 7 laps to go.
Yeah, 7 laps to go, and Breeze is really trying that outside line, got into the outside wall, and now he's going to worry about the 15. David is really going to now set it on the inside, going to try to stick it low, but a couple of times the 15 has gotten straight a little bit too early and has had to back out of the corner. That's where he's lost the momentum, but able to hold strong. And just, oh my goodness, Breeze hard in the outside wall again, and he's trying to do the same moves he was doing earlier, but the brim of the dirt has now moved up so close to the outside wall, it's not catching the 74 like it used to, and that's why he lost third place.
Yeah, you're not seeing a whole lot of cushion up there either. There's a little bit, but not much of a cushion, and that is the problem. You can rip the lip, but if there's no lip there, well, the next thing is the wall, and that's what you saw again, the rhyming not intended, but yeah, there's just not enough cushion for him to rip the lip, and he ripped the wall instead. As meanwhile, second place continues on. 4 laps to go, and your race leader passes that lap car of Cole Duggar, and the lap car, of course, being the 66 of Jason Anach. He passes him, and they're going to come up to 3 laps to go right there. Just 3 laps remain out of this 50-lap feature for Cole Duggar.
Yeah, Cole Duggar, I mean, a great run for himself. Started back in 4th place, has marched his way up to the lead, and, you know, it was a draw to see where he was going to be placed. I think maybe if he was a little bit further back, it might have taken him a couple more laps to get up front, but we had a feeling after what was going on with practice that this 123 had this race almost in the bag. Yeah,
he does. Scores 11 on car, 123 in the books. As he is coming up now, he'll get the 1 to go. And right there, he'll officially take the CRN 1 to go. And we'll see if he can just hang on to it for a half a lap here. That's all he needs. He's getting awfully close to that wall, though.
Yeah, well, that was his last time trying to get close to that one. Now just rim right around, and finally, off the corner, it's going to be Cole Duggar. What a great run by this 123 machine.
Yeah, Cole Duggar, of course, a good driver by all means, showing it here tonight as he picks up the win, and he'll be coming around right here. We'll see what kind of celebration he does, and I don't think he's going to do anything. He is going to just pull it right into the pits and take that dirtfan.com, LSRTV, UDTV, World of Thunder, Outlaw, School of Boss, Outlaw, Team Outlaw Motorsports at number 11 to Victory Lane. And I'm not sure if that's much of a victory lane, but I guess that's where it's supposed to be. But he's going to park it on the grass. There is, of course, second place coming in to the picture as well. Again, a good race. Not huge fields here, but look at the track now. You can really see just how worn out it is. Especially really, I would say at a turn 1 and 2, or turn 1 and turn 4, really the worst of the wear. But again, a really, really good race as we take a look at your unofficial race results.
Yeah, Cole Duggar is going to get the win, and then Gross. And then you had David in the 15, Peter Breeze, Brennan Hull, and really that was your top 5. The rest of the field kind of struggling for most of this race. Ryan Fisher able to stay at least on the lead lap, but this was, you know, with how small the field was, we talked about it at the top of the broadcast, entertaining from top of the race to the bottom.
Yeah, it definitely was entertaining. And of course, we'll step away here real quick, and we'll be talking to the top 3 in the post-race show here in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with the post-race show, and we're all out and about getting ready for this one. The flagman's still in his flag stand. We're trying to get a hold of third place and first place, but we do have second place with us, and that is Andy Gross. Andy, you come in second place here tonight. A pill draw style started you in the field where maybe you might have liked to start a little further up in the field if you wanted to, but overall a good race here for you. What do you think you needed to get by Cole Duggar here to get that win tonight?
Yeah, I thought practice started at 7, so I got in with 52 seconds left to go at practice, so I got no practice laps in, no nothing. So I was kind of surprised when we got out on the track and it was already starting to slick off, but yeah, that seventh place starting spot really didn't really help too much, especially with Cole, how fast he is. So, but if we had a little bit better starting spot, I believe we could have contended with him for sure.
Definitely. It was a good heat race. It turned into a good race. As we mentioned over and over again, you don't need a lot of cars to put on a good battle. These cars, before we hand it to Sam for some questions, you know, I honestly wondered if they were more like tanks. You can beat and bang with these cars pretty much to your heart's content before you start getting any damage acquired. So how much can you really beat out there on these things before you really start getting potentially meatball or damage acquired that's going to hurt the car?
Yeah, in the beginning a little bit. I knew I had to, get to the front. So I moved a couple guys and they came back and moved me, and it is what it is. It's part of racing, but when you start 7th at a place like this, you got to do everything you can to get your way working forward.
You definitely did a good job. A little beating and banging never hurt in the dirt track world. And we'll hand it to Sam. Any questions here before we let him thank his sponsors?
Yeah, Andy, I mean, like you said, you had to start back in 7th. What was your mindset when you realized you were starting further back in the field and you had to march your way forward?
Yeah, more or less it was, just trying to keep the car straight and, not trying to get it too sideways, get into the corner, drive it straight, and make sure I didn't spin my tires coming off the corner. And I was searching around for a little while and trying to find if, you could run high in 1 and 2 and get the run coming out of 2. And it kind of seemed like 3 and 4, you're really stuck on the bottom. I don't know if anybody was around the top or not, but just kind of searching around and just had to drive as hard as I could and keep her under control.
Well, you did an amazing job keeping it under control. You get second place here tonight. Anyone on that car you got to thank for making it fast?
Yeah, I got to thank Nate at Henco Waterjet Supply for all your waterjet consumables. I want to thank Paul Peterson at Shark RC Bodies for all your RC drag racing and dirt oval track bodies. I want to thank Dave Kajerski at Ski Graphics for the great looking wraps. I want to thank Brian Hamer. He's coming on board next year at B&H Builders. I want to thank my wife for letting me do this on a Sunday night. I want to thank my dad, all the guys at James E. Bate Raceway that is watching tonight. It's just it's nice to have B&H Builders come on board next year for the Street Stock title sponsor, as well as discount shop towels for late models, and look forward to the season getting underway next week.
Definitely. We'll be checking it out to see how you're racing there. We like to check in on drivers that we've covered here on LSRTV. And speaking of drivers, I'm not sure if he's much of one, but that's your race winner, Cole Duggar. Cole, we're going to give you a little crap here on air just because we can, but you get the win here tonight. And I'm sure our camera guy and your team owner, Will Duvall, is going to be happy. So are you looking for a pay raise now out of this?
More than a pay raise. Come on, let's do something better than a pay raise. Give me like 3 backup cars or something instead of just half.
Oh, there you go. Half a backup car, obviously not going to get the job done. So I know Will can hear us. He's in here with us listening in, and say he's one of those team owners like a leech. He just kind of comes around where his drivers go, hoping to get an interview, I'm sure. But we'll see about that. But regardless of that, you get the win here tonight in dominating fashion. You were out front. You led the entire race. How was the car? How was the track? And, were you at any point scared somebody was going to run you down?
Yeah, there was, once I got around Peter, it was, honestly, I thought he was going to pass me back. He actually got back to my inside. It was kind of tough. The car was pretty tight, especially in, out of 4. You probably saw quite a few drivers get pushed up near the pit wall. Yeah, the car was tight, but it ended up working out.
Well, it definitely worked out for you here, a fast car. And, we got to ask you one final question before we hand it over to Sam, see what he's got for you. And that is this natural talent, or did you learn from the Outlaw School of Moss? Or I think that's the name of it.
I don't know how to answer that. I'm going to say a mixture of both.
Well, there you go. He has all talent. The school didn't teach him anything. You heard it right here. Let's have any questions for Cole before we let him go.
Yeah, I mean, Cole, you just dominated most of this race once you got up front. What was going through your mind once you saw that you had over a 4-second lead over the rest of the field?
That's probably when I was comfortable, honestly, because in these cars, and this is kind of a tight track, it's small, it got pretty slicked off, and really anything can happen. I mean, the inside wall down in 3 and 4 is really, really dangerous. You want to get close to it to be fast if you're running the bottom, and honestly, it's danger anytime you go down there, and sometimes I had to go down there to pass a lap car, and that's just what had so it's really, you're never safe until the checker flag.
Well, definitely a good race for you here. Again, you put on a clinic here tonight, and we know you got some sponsors on that car, and especially one that's I think is more important than the others. Who would those be on the side of the car, and the front and the hood, and everywhere else you got to thank?
Yeah, definitely got to thank Hale's Corner for putting on the race. LSRTV, thank you guys. Cody, you're on my car, so appreciate that. Got to give you a shout out. Jesse got the paint in general. Appreciate Jesse for doing that. Outlaw School of Dirt. William Duvall, thank you. Team owner, Team Outlaw Motorsports, Brent Spates. Got to thank all those guys.
They all put it together, give you a fast car here. And before we get our final thoughts and sign up for the night, since we do not have our third place driver, we're going to talk to Peter here, the guy putting all of this on. And a little birdie named Peter himself told us a little while ago off air that the new season is starting soon. So, Peter, since we don't have third place, we'll hand it to you here for a minute just to talk about the series and what people have to do to sign up for it.
The main portion of the series, like I said, this is kind of like an in-between race for us. It's kind of devoted towards a racetrack that was locally around here before they kind of closed down, hence the Menards parking lot name on here, because it got turned into a Menards store, so that's kind of why we have it like that. But all these guys are good racers, fun to drive with, racing in and out every single week, and as usual, thinking discount shop towels are coming on board, as well as B&H builders for next season, like Andy said, and hopefully we have a lot of fun going into the next season here.
Definitely looking forward. We'll check in and see how the season goes as well, I'm sure, and check in on some drivers now that we know at least one of them that's driving over there. And that being said, Sam, what are your final thoughts here before we sign off for tonight? And we're off till the S&B Cup Series on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, this was fun racing to watch. It was quick. Those 50 laps were just gone in an instant, but amazing racing to see. It was great to see how the drivers battling for second and third place was there from lap 1 all the way to the end. Just a blast to watch here tonight.
It was indeed a blast to watch. And, of course, speaking of a blast, we'll lead into that segue. You can have a blast on a water jet. So make sure you check out Henco Water Jets. You can check them out at hencowaterjet.com. Make sure you check out B&H Home Builders in Wisconsin at b-hbuildersllc.com. And, of course, discountshoptowels.com. And, of course, ETE Reman here for LSRTV. That'll do it here for the racing tonight. We hope you had a great race. I know I did. And we'll see you back Wednesday night for the S&B Cup Series and live here on LSR TV.